Hello, another day, another caravan, and this is a follow-up video to our Watch Before You Buy Bailey Senator Ranger Pageant video, which has had quite a lot of views and quite a lot of comments, some helpful, some less helpful. I just wanted to do a follow-up video and show you some content of some repairs and kind of give you more of an insight as to how damp, how damp is bad damp. The video I've just put out of common problems, things to look for on used caravans would probably be helpful to you as well. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, hit the notification bell icon and give us a thumbs up because that really helps the channel. Again, if you want to leave any comments down below, please do. Please make them useful and helpful and just not critical and unhelpful. I want to keep this channel positive and informative and helpful, and keep the abuse to a minimum. I'm just trying to help people. I am not a super expert, but I have been buying and selling used caravans for 10 years, and I try to be as honest as I can with my customers about the pitfalls of owning these things, as well as trying to be positive. Caravans can be great fun. The amount of stuff you pack into a touring caravan is incredible. You've got a toilet, a bathroom, a shower, a wardrobe, a kitchen, beds, a seating area. You've got gas and electric, hot and cold water, central heating. I mean, people come to me and they say, oh, I'm getting a caravan, I'm going to rip it all apart, I'm going to change it all. And I'm just thinking in my mind, you will never improve, or I'd be very surprised if you can improve on what's been developed over, nearly 100 years in caravans. What the manufacturers managed to pack in and achieve in such a small space. You have everything you have in your house on a thing that you can tow behind your car, and in some cases in a tiny thing you can tow behind a small car. Caravans are great, motorhomes are great, but as with owning a house, there's certain things like subsidence in a house or damp which are things that are going to cost you money, and you have problems with cars too, parts packing in, rust creeping in, and it's the same. So I'm not saying by any means don't buy a caravan because it's going to cost you thousands of pounds in damp repairs. If you get a caravan that's in good condition, you've used your mind, you've done your research, you've found the layout you want, so you're going to be happy with it, and you've really tried your best to make sure that it's not got damp, it's not got problems by having it serviced or damp repaired, by damp tested, or you bought it from a dealer with a warranty, you should be good. But keep getting it serviced once a year, because these problems can be picked up early and fixed and remedied, rather than leaving it for years. Damp can creep in, damp can create big problems, which is going to make it harder to sell on, and it could end up costing you thousands of pounds in repairs. So we're going to dive into this video without further ado. So let's have another dive into the Bailey damp problems. I am loving this wide angle lens on my most recent Huawei phone. That was not a plug for Huawei in any way, but the wide angle lens option thing is great. Before the wide angle, you would have seen so much less in the shot. Okay, what are we looking at? Ooh, damp. Ooh, damp. Dump. So this guy asked me to buy this caravan, and I went and looked at it, and I got my damp meter, and I said, has it got any damp? Knowing that it was a Bailey Senator 2007, which was sort of the time when things were at the worst with the roof strap problem, as we've dug into before. And he said, oh, there's a little bit in the bathroom. I didn't even need to get my damp meter out. I opened the door and I saw the black on the toilet there. I saw the black up there. I saw that the roof was sort of bowed. In fact, there's water sat in pockets in the roof there. Yep. So I can see that the roof, I'm stepping into the shower, I can see the roof is kind of up there, whereas it should be straight, and the sealant is cracked. Okay, so what are my observations here? My observations are the roof and the whole wall is rotten, which means the floor is probably also rotten. If you pull back the lino under there and you take that shower tray out, it's going to be damp. Can I prove it to you? Yes, I can, because I've got one in the workshop that is exactly the same. So what this guy thought was a little bit of damp, he's probably left it this way for 5 to 10 years, means this whole wall is going to have to be removed and repaired. The roof's going to have to be cut back, removed, repaired, and the floor is probably going to have to be repaired. So this Caravan, which should have been worth £5,000 or £6,000, I ended up paying a lot less for, because this is about a £2,000 repair right here. So if you're going out looking for these Caravans and you're buying a Bailey of any description and you see this kind of thing and somebody tells you, oh, there's a little bit of damp, and you're seeing that sort of things are not flat anymore, things are soft. Why is it black there? Well, because the water's run down the inside of the wall and it's stopped on the edge and is then sort of just fraying and eating up, because that's a cutout because the toilet's there, and it's just sort of showing itself on the edge. You know how it's always the edge of the timber that starts to go because you've cut through the grain and then it's exposing the ends of the grain, so it kind of, I think that's right. And here, yeah. So beware, and I'm going to now show you some shots of the Caravan we've got in the workshop to show you what kind of repair. It's slightly different, but it's in exactly the same place. What kind of repair is going to be needed here. So this is the inside of another 2007 Bailey Senator, and unfortunately I didn't get a shot of the damp timber before we removed it, but what you'll see is where the timber was, the gaps in between the polystyrene, and the floor has also had the top skin removed, to illustrate quite how much work is involved in repairing one of these. So a little bit of damp turns into days and days worth of taking out the furniture, cutting out all the damp timber, cutting off all the old wallboard, gluing in new bits of timber, gluing in new sections of floorboard and wallboard. And now on the outside, to illustrate what work's been done there as well, we've had to take the awning rail off and the toilet doors and things off, and remove all the sealant from the rails, which is quite a laborious job. And now you're going to see the roof strap has had to be taken off, and you can see where the back panel tucks under the roof. This is where you get the problems, where the sealant deteriorates in the sun, the UV perhaps, or the movement creates sort of cracks. You will get areas where the water can get in through screw holes, and once the screw hole has let the water in, then the screw stops gripping and it kind of perpetuates the problem. So that's why you get the water seeping in. You can get cracks in the panels as well, which let the water in, but in any case, any tiny little crack in that area, which is the prone area on all four corners, will create these damp problems which we're seeing. Now I just want to show you where this kind of thing would have started. So if I didn't have a damp meter, I would be going through my fingers are freezing. I can hardly feel anything. If I was looking around this van without a damp meter, I'd probably stop here and go, oh, the wallboard's a little bit lumpy there, and there's evidence of a streak of water here. If I did have a damp meter, I would stick it in and I go 16%, 18%, but the wallboard itself, red, 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 and the pins just go straight in, red. So somebody, you know, potentially, oh, there's just, you maybe wouldn't even notice this. I'm now going to peel back the wallboard for you to show you the damage. Okay, so I've peeled it back a bit so you can sort of see what's actually behind what I was feeling. So without a damp meter, all I could feel was there's a slight lump in the wallboard there. When I peel it back, you can see a different story. This will most likely sort of be spread and it's black, which means it's rotten, and it's damp to the touch. The moisture gets trapped behind this vinyl, which is plastic, and that's when you get the pimpling through. So if you get pimpling on a wallboard on these, it's going to be black behind it. This is getting lighter. This is what colour it should be, like normal beach ply or something. But then it's gone black in this area. And again, it's that roof strap problem. So above here is the roof strap that goes all the way across the top of the van and seals the front panel to the roof. And at the back is the roof strap that joins the back panel to the roof. And that's where the water gets in. And it's usually on the edges. And this is what back there would have started out like, just a little bit, and then it creeps and spreads and spreads and spreads. Eventually the whole side of the van will be damp, the floor will be damp, and this whole section would need to be removed and repaired. In this case, I'm pretty sure it's only going to be concealed to inside this cupboard, but if we find that it goes further forward, which it might well do, how are you going to deal with that? Well, you're going to have to remove all of the cupboards in this area. And these cupboards were fitted before the walls and the roof were put on. So they're stapled through from... It's a big job to remove these cupboards once the van's been assembled. So ideally in this scenario, you want to try and have a localized repair. So you've got to remove all that wallboard there, which is time consuming. Then you've got to clean it all off, repair any damp timber underneath, dry it all out, what's remaining, and then reboard it in that area. That's going to cost you a couple of £100. But again, if you don't get that checked, it's going to spread and you're going to end up in the bathroom situation, which is going to be a £2,000 repair. So I'm hoping this has been a helpful video for you. It's always good to actually see what I'm talking about, rather than just hearing what I'm saying and, you know, it's the roof straps, it's this. You know, this is the reality of how it happens and what happens when you don't get it fixed. In reality, just a bit of sealant around the top, up there and up there, when it first started, would have saved all of this work now necessary on this van. And the van's never going to quite be the same if we repair the bathroom. In case you're curious, I don't know what I'm doing with this Caravan. We may repair it, we may attempt to repair it, or we may just sell it for parts, sell the parts, and maybe use it as a storage cabin. So I don't want you to think that I go on selling these vans to the unsuspecting public, because I don't. We either have them repaired, repair them, or sell the parts. If we do get vans that we're not going to repair, we would sell them sort of into the trade for an appropriate price, because we do not sell dodgy caravans to the public. So if you're seeing caravans on our website, rest assured that they haven't featured in a dodgy video, and I'm trying to flog them on. They'll have been repaired properly, or they'll be reduced, and I'll be telling people that they need X amount of work done. So cool. Yeah, subscribe and all that nonsense, and I'll see you in another video.